It's going to be a fine night tonight. It's going to be a fine day tomorrow. La 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 la
It's very nice to meet you.
Same here.
So virtually.
Yeah.
So, my first question for you comes with me expressing my respect and the fact that I admire your work, and I know your work since Put Your Hands Up for Detroit.
2006, yeah.
Yeah, 2006. Wow. Yeah, I won't say.
Yeah.
But you're highly appreciated all over Romania, and everybody knows you here. You've been here many, many times. What's your best memory regarding our country?
That's always hard, that's always hard to pick one specific. I mean, I think what I enjoyed the most maybe is just coming over several years and see like the changes. But I think if I have to name one thing, I think it's how hospitable the people are. I always felt right at home from day one, which is just great.
In 2006, you rocked international music charts with Put Your Hands Up for Detroit, but it's been 16 years. What do you think changed in the industry?
Well, I mean, a lot in 16 years. I think everything went through a sort of more, let's say, professionalized wave over the years. I think when I started out, it was more just a few little pockets of people that liked this music and did little things. But I think since it became such a big global thing, I think it definitely got more professional on a lot of levels. And musically as well. I mean, like that's just, I think in general how art is. I mean, you just go through these different waves from time to time. And the funny thing is, I kind of feel that where we are now musically is almost again where I started. So it's kind of came full circle, which is awesome.
Does it happen to you now, 16 years in the industry, on stage, in front of people? Does it ever happen to you to be nervous?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think as long as, I mean, it's not. When I just started, it was sort of like a fearful nervousness, and now it's more like a nervousness that you would have before a big whatever football competition, or it's more like a sports kind of thing, and usually I think that it's great because it also makes you perform better. And I think as soon as I start to lose that, I think that then it's time to call it quits, because I think you kind of need that. You need to. I always want to perform, and it doesn't matter if it's like 10 people or 10,000 people. You always want to perform for that people that came from you, and I think if that's the most important thing. So that always gives a little bit of nervousness, but in a good way, I would say.
Going even further, have you always imagined you being an artist?
I mean, not always. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to become an archaeologist because, of course, I saw Indiana Jones and I was like, okay, that's what I want to be. And I guess since my mom is she's a painter and a sculptor, so I've always sort of enjoyed creative processes. So I guess from an early age, I also wanted to do something creative. But for me, it was actually a really I finished school and I didn't really know what I wanted to study. So I actually talked to my parents like, hey, I really love this music thing, blah, blah, blah. I want to give it like 2 or 3 years. And if nothing happens, then I'll let it go. But I really want to pursue this and see if it's viable. And to be honest, I mean, after 3 years, it went a little better, but I was already so hooked. And thank God, I mean, my dad had a little bit of a hard time in the beginning to support me, because I was like, no, get a regular job and blah, blah, blah. But my mom, also being creative, she always understood, so she always supported me, which was great.
I'm curious to know, how much do you prepare for a festival set, for example, for Saga?
I mean, I think especially for festivals, you do a little extra, but it's more that you prepare, like you want to make some extra mashups. You maybe want to finish tracks you're working on because you want to showcase those tracks. And other than that, I sort of have this system that always gives me enough options and almost always works. So you can still decide, right then and there, like, okay, I am gonna play this, or I am gonna try out this new track, or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you sort of have a. It's still structured, because I mean, for me, that is always important. That especially dance music, it's so much about energy. It's so much about being in that moment. So I think it's always important that your set just keeps building and really goes somewhere. So yes, I do prepare, but not. I don't know every track that I'm gonna play. I mean, sometimes you think, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then it turns out completely different, and you should be able to, sway left or right a little bit at least.
Is it difficult, or is it some sort of a challenge for you to constantly bring something new and be there and inspire others with such regularity and consistency?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think if you obligate yourself, you sort of, I just think like a creative process can never be forceful. You can never force yourself to be creative. So that's why I'm so thankful for all these young artists and artists on my label, because I mean, they sent me so much stuff, and a lot of times I give them feedback like, hey, maybe do this or that. But at the same time, they also inspire me, I mean, like, because they do something really interesting, or they sort of are looking for something. And then sometimes, together we work out and you get to new ideas. So for me, actually, running a label and keeping in contact with younger artists is also like a sort of, I wouldn't say lifeline, but I think it's a very very important inspiration source. So, I mean, they inspire me at the same time as I hopefully still inspire them. So that's it's perfect.
Is there a certain moment, maybe on stage when you're there in front of people playing music? Is there one moment, one highlight, or 1 second, or I don't know, something that makes you feel happy, or that would be, that you would call a highlight of your presence on the stage?
One of my favorite gigs was you play from sort of midnight to when the sun comes up. Which I used to do like once a year. Unfortunately, the venue is not there anymore, but which was absolutely amazing. And then, you kind of go through this whole journey all together, and then the sun comes up and you play this certain song, and everybody's, it's sort of like these like super perfect circumstances. So sometimes it gets quite emotional, which is just amazing.
Definitely happen at Saga Festival. We're going to meet you again pretty soon in Romania. Are you ready for the fun? What do you expect from this show? Are you, I don't know, planning on bringing something new, some new music, collaborations?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've done so much studio work, so there definitely will be like a bunch of new tracks. Actually, there'll definitely be one track which is a collaboration, I think, with an interesting fellow DJ. But I'm not sure if I can. if I say my manager gets angry with me and blah blah blah, and the record company gets angry, but there'll definitely be a few interesting things. Yeah, and all of that, I'm just looking forward to. I mean, like, in general, like the whole summer is always, and especially after being sort of like cooped up inside for 2 years, I mean, let's go.
Do you have a message or something you would like to say to the Romanian audience, to your public here?
I would definitely say, I mean, first of all, thank you guys for always supporting me. Thank you guys for still coming out after 2 years. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure you guys are also, and I'm gonna bring all I got.